Now, if you guys are still calling out of the small blind with junk hands, you're basically lighting your stack on fire. You got to stop doing that. And that's just one of the three biggest mistakes I see players make in six max. So let's fix that. And the first mistake I want to talk about here is playing too many hands from under the gun or under the gun plus one. So in six max, ranges tighten in early position, not loosen. So if you're opening suited gappers, offsuit broadways, or weak aces, you're giving the blinds a license to raise you all day. You know, you want to stick to premium hands in early spots. Use a range chart if you have to. It's not hard to find that, but basically, first or second to act, just tighten up. Don't be playing jack six suiteds from first or second to act. Just let those hands go. All right. Second mistake I see is flat calling too much, and I get it. Sometimes you just want to call and see a flop for nothing, but this usually backfires, and someone who's being more aggressive will push you off of a hand. The fix here is to stay aggressive almost all of the time. Now, I will say every once in a while you could limp and mix things up by doing that, but really, you want to be aggressive, I would say like 95% of the time. All right, third mistake here is not bluffing enough in these games. So bluffing is often the separator I see all the time when I'm playing. If someone is just like a recreational player, they rarely bluff or make good bluffs, okay, that makes sense. Someone who is kind of like semi-pro or at least playing on a higher level understands bluffing as a skill, almost like an art form. It takes time to get good at, but they continually bluff in the games they play because they understand it's going to help them take down more pots and increase their ROI. And that's something I noticed like right away. After you're sitting at a table for like 20 or 30 minutes, you'll see who's playing good and who's not, especially when it comes to bluffing. Okay, now we've got a good one to go over here. So stick around to the end, but I also want to let you guys know we have an awesome community in the pinned comments that you can talk with me or other high-level members. We go over hand analysis and other tips to help you improve at a faster pace. Also, you guys could tap the like, and let's get right into this. Okay, now I'm going to be, I was very aggressive in this one. There's going to be some probably questionable plays you're going to see, but I like to mix things up when I play. I don't really have a strategy, which might sound strange. Really, the strategy I use playing these games is I exploit players using a strategy. So, I've been playing long enough where, you know, I, I can put people on ranges and I can kind of just mix things up. And I like to bluff. Okay, I do bluff a lot. You kind of have to as you move up. You can't really just stick to that ABC style. You got to mix things up. Now we have an example of me doing that here. I'm gonna make a pretty loose call with a 9-7 suited here in the big. I figured player 5 would get out of the way here. Player 2 is gonna be repping hands like ace king and then mid pocket pairs. So you got, well, any pocket pair. You could have aces, you could have kings, queens, whatever. But I decided to call here, and wow, I mean, look at this. Look at this. What else can you say, guys? He's gonna go pretty hefty here, like hefty like the garbage bags, but you know what I'm saying. But I figured, here's the thing, I didn't want to just call here. I thought this through a little bit. The reason I don't want to call is because there's a lot of bad cards that could kind of like slow everything down here. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's a 7 on the turn or a 9, it would slow things down. I think raising here, if he's got a hand like aces, kings, or queens, he's never getting away here. Like, it's just not happening. So that's the reason I made this play. That's what I was thinking. And I mean, that's kind of what he's repping at this point. I mean, look at his continuation sizing here. So I came over the top, and I really thought he was going to make this call. This is just like one of those boards where I could have 10-9, a lot of like flush draws. See, and the turn card would have been a 9, so I think that would have slowed things down anyways. I don't think we were going to get much anyways with that. So it is what it is. He obviously didn't have pocket aces or pocket kings or pocket queens. Otherwise, he's going to make that call. So he probably had a hand like ace king and just wasn't a good flop for him, and it is what it is. All right, so now we got pocket aces kind of doing her thing here. And we had pocket aces a lot in this. I want to say like 3 times, which is kind of weird. This was basically like about an hour of gameplay kind of cut down here. But still, I think, yeah, we really had pocket aces a lot in this one. So, but I'm not going to give anything away. You're just going to have to watch how things played out here. All right, so player 6 looks like he's timing out. So far doing pretty good to start things off here. Obviously that 9-7 flop was something special. But here we go. You got to assume player 4 is going to call here. He's going to defend a lot. Hoping for a raise here would be nice. Okay, cool. So we got the raise. Now I could slow play this or I could kick it up again. I just decided to shove here, being very aggressive in this. All right, player 4 let it go pretty quick there. I don't really regret how I played that. All right, so 8-3. I think we're going to fold the next couple hands here. But yeah, definitely a good start for us. Doesn't always go this way. You know, I'll say this to you guys, like, other than fixing some mistakes, a big side to playing this game, like at a higher level, is definitely that emotional side, which can be really hard. Not a lot of people talk about it too much, but it's a big deal, man. It's definitely a big deal. It also helps to talk to people like going through this stuff, which is another reason I would definitely get in that community. All right, here we go. 2-8 suited. Am I going to make this call? That is the question. The 2-8 gutter. Be kind of funny to raise this one up. Now, I did defend because we were suited. Don't ask me why. And basically a check fold here. We ain't going to do much more than that. Player 4. Really any continuation, I was just going to let that go. All right, pocket sixes. I think, I just limped here. Player 4 was playing pretty aggressive. That's kind of the reason I did that. So I was kind of expecting him to raise here to try to get me off this. But he's going to check it, and, not a whole lot there. 6 on the turn would be good. Let's see if we can get it. Otherwise, I think we are check folding this. Okay, we got the 6. Now, I put out a small sizing here to see if he wanted to stick around to see a river card. If he's got anything at this point, like a pair of jacks. Not expecting a whole lot out of this. Yeah, he didn't even call. Let's see what the river card would have been. A 9. All right, so whatever. All right, king 7 folded. All right, so now I'm kind of just switching to be a little bit tighter, but we are going to open things up again very soon here. I'll tell you what. All right, here we go with ace. Yeah, so this is the second round of pocket aces, like I said. There's going to be a third round. All right, nothing there, sadly. That's like the worst when everybody folds and you've got pocket aces. It's like, yeah, it's no bueno. All right, I'm going to open here with king 9. I think I ended up just checking this one down. Let's see, though. All right, yep, check, check. Not a bad turn card. We got a jack to a straight here, plus a king would probably be good if we could hit one. So I'd say we have like 8 outs, so we got none of it. Queen on the river. Bluffing here doesn't make a lot of sense. I think I'll get called down with any pair if he's got it. So I just checked it. He had deuces. I wouldn't have been surprised if I did throw something out there if he would have called with the deuces the way I played that, which was very poorly. I will say that, but it is what it is. All right, so jack queen here. All right, so I'm gonna put in a raise, pretty standard here from the small to the big. Remember, player 4 is playing pretty aggressive, but he called. Got nothing here. Checked it. Should have continued, but we did hit the queen on the turn, which was good, so now I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm definitely thinking a queen's good at this point. And I'm okay going to showdown here, just the way I played this. 8 on the river. Checked it again. If he wants to throw something out there, it's fine. I'm going to make a call, but I'm pretty much assuming this is going to go check, check. It did. All right, so I didn't play that hand very well, but we got the result we wanted. All right, here we go. Aces. Now, this was the third time, man. Will this one be better? That is the question. Now, I actually slow played this. I just figured, or I was hoping at least, that maybe player four would kick it up because he'd been very aggressive. I thought about raising it until I was thinking about player four. It didn't work out for us. So now we have a situation where it's like, okay, probably not going to get a whole lot off this one. I am going to go for some thin value here on the turn and then a little bit of value on the river, just hoping he would call really with anything, any kind of pair here. If he's got like a 10 or I don't know, anything, right? So he's going to call. And then river, I'm going to keep it very thin, like 30. So not a whole lot, not even the pot size. I just felt like he was super weak here. So I didn't really think he was going to go any, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is probably going to be it. And, you know, he is going to make the call. So I think my instincts about this were pretty spot on. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Okay, in this hand, wow. All right, so I got real aggressive here, mixing things up with the Jack 9 offsuit. We were in the big blind here. And I'll tell you what, I think the play that I made here was very aggressive, but I was just kind of opening my game up. So, I mean, we're starting to go up a little bit. We're doing pretty good. We've been playing pretty tight, but also a little bit aggressive at the same time. Then we get this Jack 9 offsuit in the big blind here. Player 6 is going to kick it up here. He could have a decent hand, suited connectors, mid pocket pairs, things like that. But I just decided anyways to like just mix things up. So I'm gonna kick this up to 45, and we're gonna go from there. Don't want to give it away what happened here just yet, but I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell you what. That's what's happening. All right, player one and player two folded. I just slowed this down because I just wanted to give you my thought process and why I took such an aggressive line in this. Now, to be fair, if this was like a poor flop, I might have played it a little bit different, but it was a flop that I looked at and I was like, okay, not bad, not bad. All right, so player two folded. Now, I wouldn't recommend playing this way with this hand. Now, if it was suited, sure. Like I said, this is just me mixing things up, staying unpredictable. Sometimes these situations work out, sometimes they don't. But I like making this play to just kind of stay a little bit unpredictable. All right, he's going to call. I don't know what took him so long to call. He figured, you know, you figure he's going to make the call, and he does. All right, so let's take a look at this flop. This is what we've been waiting for right here. So basically up and down straight draw. We're also blocking the clubs because we have a 9 of clubs. Our hand looks pretty good. I actually just went for the bank here, the max bank. And he's going to call us pretty quick, like not even thinking about it at all. So didn't like that, but I'm like, okay, what do you have? Queens. He was also blocking the clubs as well. All right, so nothing on the turn, and we need help here. Big time, or we're losing a big one. And check this river card out. Oh, my. And if we kind of like run that back, how that hand might have played out anyways, I think he was always going to get stacked on the river. I probably would have ended up jamming it, and there was just no way to fold on that board like a set of queens anyways. And that is what I'm talking about, guys. So that helped out a lot, clearly. Next hand we had a queen 4. I think I ended up folding this. Player 6, probably tilted at this point, not feeling too good, I'm sure. But hey, man, you know, he made a good call. We still had outs, though, so it's not like, not a lot of good ones because he was actually blocking the clubs on us. He had a club, so if it was like runner clubs, we're losing. We were basically just drawing to the 7 or queen, and somehow the queen peeled off on the river, and I'll tell you guys what, man, that was just That was something. That was just something, right? I mean, what else can you say? I don't even know what else to say. But yeah, we still got a few more hands to go over here, so we are just not done yet. We got some good stuff going on here. Four deuce, folded the four deuce. We ain't playing that one today. Maybe another day. All right, and then yeah, we pocket nines here. This hand was interesting. Let me kind of recap on some of the stuff I talked about earlier, though, because mistakes that you're making. Like I said, I think bluffing is kind of a big one. I kind of want to get into that a little bit. Being aggressive is fine, but I think you'll find like once you kind of deviate from just playing an ABC style approach to this, like you can really open things up, man. Plus, if you are playing a certain way at a certain stake, like you can definitely get people off of hands. Jack nine, tough one to say right there because obviously we got pretty lucky. We were in bad shape with that, but we still had outs and I played it the way I played it. It worked out that time. Other times it might not. Anyways, we're going to call here. We have pocket nines. We're not going anywhere. I think player two's been playing pretty tight. So you expect him to have a lot of, once again, mid pocket pairs here and then a lot of ace kings. Pocket nines, obviously, we're going to want to see if we can hit a nine on the flop. So we are going to be calling here. Now, I'm also hoping we don't get re-raised here. I don't want to have to put in any more than this, honestly. So, but yeah, here we go. And the flop is a 6-8-5 board. Not bad. This actually helps out a lot. So if we're in bad shape here, like if he's got any overpair, jacks, queens, kings, aces, we still have some outs here. A 7 and a 9 is what we're looking for. Either one of those, pretty good. Now he checked it. The king on the turn did not like. So it's very likely he has a king here. If he doesn't, I still expect him to throw something out here. Even if he missed this, like let's say he's got ace queen suited or ace jack suited, I would still expect him to go for it here. But he could also have a king. It's very reasonable. Our hand's still too good to give up right here. There's also a flush draw out there. You got the clubs. I'm going to make this call. Hopefully get the 7 or 9 on the river. And then hopefully it's not a club. And let's see what hit. It was a 7. Oh, man. So we got it. And this is where I went for some value, hoping he has ace-king and he just can't give it up, right? Something like that. The sizing I went for was pretty good. I think it was a little bit less than pot. And I think I made it so that it was just too hard for him to get away from if he does have a king. And I'll tell you guys what. Hope you enjoyed some of the stuff here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Check out the pinned comment. Thanks for watching this, guys, and we will see you in the next one.